No.
All right, I would like to know whatever you think that you would like to tell the readers. All right? However, I have questions to ask
Okay.
you, but answer in terms of bringing people into who
Tell
you
them
are and what
everything.
you're doing.
Okay.
All right, and I have one question to start out
All right.
with. And that question is, you have just been elected, nominated, or placed in a position where you are the prodigal singer for the month of October. Is that what you call it?
Well,
How would you put it? Cashbox Magazine?
Cashbox Magazine, I don't know how they decide, but some way or another they decided that I was Country Music Artist of the Week for Cashbox. And that was really a surprise because we've really only had one good chart song out because we were in gospel music and we switched to country about a year ago. So to be recognized that soon is really strange because all the years I was singing gospel, you know, and it's so hard to get recognized. There's so many artists in country music, and to think so soon that they know that I'm alive, I couldn't believe it, you know. So that was really an honor because I know a lot of artists have been singing for many years and probably haven't had that honor, so it was really surprising. And I guess the main reason was the success of Sunday Afternoon Boat Ride in the Park on the Lake. That's our current song that's out. In fact, we've got another song coming out today. It's out today.
What's the name of it?
It's called Memory Go Round, and it was released today, so it should be going to the disc jockeys and to the stores.
As a single.
Right.
Is that off an album?
It's off our newest album, which is Sunday Afternoon Boat Ride is also on. It's entitled R.W. Blackwood and the Blackwood Singers, We Can Feel Love. Is the name of the album.
So in other words, you have more than one single hit potential off of one
Right,
album, which
and
is great.
We've got another one, in fact, to follow up that one with. You know, it's not strange to have 3 or 4 singles off an album anymore. In fact, it makes album sales better, you know. Sometimes they won't buy on the first single, but then they hear the second one, they'll say, well, hey, I want to get that album, or it may take the third one, you know. The third song's going to be I Can Feel Love, which is the title of the album. You'd think it had been first, wouldn't you?
Which will be even more of a reinforcement.
Right. So we'll have 3 releases from this particular album.
Tell me about the change that you made from gospel to country. Was it a spiritual change,
well,
or a
not-
music taste change, or a
Well-
decision to go into a new audience?
It's a long story. I started back in '62. I was raised in Memphis, Tennessee. My family were gospel singers, the Blackwood Brothers Quartet, and it was originated in 1936 down in Choctaw County, Mississippi. I came from a heritage of gospel music, and my father was killed in a plane crash when I was 11. And up until that time, I'd been in gospel music, but from age 11 to about 21, all I did was listen to old 1950 style rock and roll, you know, in the early
Bill Haley
60s.
and the Comets,
Yeah,
and the
well,
Platters.
Platters, right, and then we got into the 60s, and I graduated from high school in 61. And so I was kind of seated that way in both. You know, I had a gospel heritage, plus being a teenager, I had every record on the top 40, and I had a little rock and roll band, you know, and everything, and I moved to Nashville to get into country or to rock music, rock and roll as it was then.
Whatever opened up.
Right. And I moved to the YMCA there in Nashville and lived at the YMCA. My room was about 6 foot by 6 foot, and that's no exaggeration.
No.
And sold ladies' shoes there, and I lived there about a year, and it's so many people trying to get into it, you know, and I didn't know anybody, and it was really rough, and I got pretty homesick, and my brother Ron, who's my manager now, called me from Memphis and said, come home, we're starting a gospel quartet, and we got to have you. So I went home, and in '64 we formed the Blackwood, Junior Blackwood Brothers Quartet is what we called it. The sons of the original Blackwood Brothers. 2 of them were killed in a plane crash. My father and the bass singer were killed. And they had just come off the Arthur Guthrie show, and they had a song that was Have You Talked to the Man Upstairs, which was in the top 10 in the nation at the time he was killed. And
What year was that?
that was in '54. In fact, they were right then kind of bordering. The Blackwood Brothers were kind of bordering on what to do because they were on Arthur Guthrie, which was the show to be on, and they were scheduled for Ed Sullivan, and they had their own airplane. And then the crash took place, so they stayed, my uncle reformed with with my dad's younger brother, and they stayed gospel, straight gospel. So then I had the background of both. Started singing in the junior Blackwoods, yet I always liked the old rock and roll, or what is now country music's what it is. And they used to tease me because I had that style in my voice, and it was really hard to get rid of it because I sounded like a pop singer singing gospel, and it always caused problems.
It wasn't
it wasn't sanctified.
Right.
Even though I was a Christian, it didn't matter, you know. And I had a lot of trouble, people not accepting me because I had a tendency to dance too much on stage and sound a little too pop. So I used to really work on trying to sound like a gospel singer, and I worked on that up until about 73. And 73, we started doing a lot of backup. Well, I guess that started in 72. We started doing a lot of backup, like backed up Charlie Pride. Seemed like all the country artists and rock artists always got gospel groups to back them up. Like J.D. Sumner and the Stamps back Elvis Presley up. The Imperials back Jimmy Dean up. The Jordanaires started out as a gospel group. In fact, my dad used to book them when they were gospel. And then they started with Elvis. So we started backing Archie Campbell up, and Charlie Pride, and Dale Robertson. We backed Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. And so we got to doing all this backup, and it kind of, I got to thinking, well, if we're going to do country backup, why don't I add some country songs to our program, which we did. We started adding country songs. The next thing I know, we started becoming in demand for country dates more.
Right.
And so I was on a gospel label at the time, and we cut some middle-of-the-road gospel songs, you know, good guy songs, what they call them. And Capitol heard us, and they asked us to come talk to them, so we talked to them, and we signed with Capitol when our contract was up with Heartwarming, and put out our first country album. And our first country single was Sunday Afternoon Boat Ride. So really,
and it took off
I've always I love gospel music. I think gospel music really has the most to offer because of, well, it has a good beat, and it's entertaining, plus it has a good message, and it tells you how to solve problems. But I love country music too. And a lot of people couldn't understand. They say, how can one guy love gospel and love country? Well, it's not hard to do because I think they go hand in hand, particularly on a lot of dates you hear both. So we've had a lot of criticism because they say, well, they've backslidden or they're not Christians. But there's a lot of good Christian people in country music. And I found out that you don't have to be a preacher, you don't have to be a deacon to be a Christian. You know, you can work in a factory, or you can be a singer or an entertainer or newspaper lady or anything, you know. Some people have the wrong idea about that. I think you can be a Christian anywhere you are and conduct your business that way. And that's what we try to do, is put a clean program on and be a good influence and sing country, and we sprinkle in some gospel still. Did I give you a long answer there?
No. I was asked by the church that I teach Sunday school to give up my call today.
Oh, I know.
So you and I are talking down the same street.
When I first told my family that I was interested in doing some country, they kicked me off the bus. We were on their bus.
Okay, thank you, Wade.
They said, you can't sing it, yo. But I said, well, do you listen to it? And they said, well, of course. I said, do you have any in your home? They said, well, sure. I said, what's the difference? You know? And there's been a lot of criticism. A lot of people where we worked gospel dates say, well, we can't book them because now they sing country. But that just shows how small they are. Because Christ didn't come to condemn the world. You know, He came to save the world. And if we can sing country music, I think He put me there. He opened the doors for us. And I think we need Christians in politics and in music.
Especially, I think you need a Christian in the entertainment world where there's so much
dope, carrying on,
and so much insanity and backbiting and cheating and ugliness that goes on backstage, and you know it more even than I do.
And I found there's been a lot, since I've been in country, I've found a lot of Christians that are there. And I think the door was open because Capitol came to us. We didn't go to them, and that was a big break for a major recording contract. Plus, well, I've had a lot of personal injury in the last year. Last year I was on the stage and was electrocuted nearly. I had 3 doctors tell me I should be dead. We sang at a fair, and I had a microphone in my hand and it wasn't grounded properly, and I grabbed a wire fence.
And well, you know, one of the fellows from Stone the Crows was electrocuted and died on stage when his guitar strings touched the stand of a microphone.
Right. People don't realize that is dangerous.
Oh, I know it is.
I wouldn't be here today if it wouldn't been for God, because I couldn't let go of the microphone or the fence. I was on there about 6 seconds, and I was passing. I was passing out. And
you can't let go of it.
You can't say anything. You can't do anything. I knew I had to get off, and I couldn't do a thing, and no one knew what was wrong. They were all screaming and hollering. And the last thing I remember before I passed out was my right leg coming up and kicking me off that fence. And at that time, I'd heard of angels, but I didn't really literally take it, you know. And after that accident, I read a book called Angels, Angels, Angels by Billy Graham.
Oh, yeah.
And it made me very much aware that an angel was there, because I didn't have the power to kick myself off. An angel kicked me off that fence. So God showed me there that He had control. And people say, well,
and was involved.
Right.
Totally.
People say, well, I'll do right before I die. I didn't have a chance. You know, bang, you just split second. And I had 15 stitches in the back of my head and had a severe blow there. But
when you fell?
Landed on the back of my head. Doctors said I should have been killed, but I lived through it. And then this summer, June the 29th, I had a detached retina in my right eye. It's taped up right now. And they said it must have been from the blow that I had. So I had, so I've had major surgery this summer. I was off the road for 6 weeks. Right when the song hit, I go to the hospital, you know. But the group's good, and they carried on. And my wife spearheaded everything, so she kept it really going strong. And it gave me a chance to think, because I was kind of caught at the time of what should I be doing with my career, or what does God want me to do? And sometimes He puts you on your back so He can talk to you. And He let me know this is what He wants me to do, even though there's been so much criticism. My family, my grandmother, and people are fine Christians, but they didn't understand why, you know. And God was trying to tell me this is what He wants me to do. And so the operation was successful, and it just takes several months to heal, you know. And but I think I'm doing what He wants me to do. And I love to entertain. I love to sing. I love to tell people I'm a Christian. I love country music.
How do you relate to Pat Boone?
I like Pat Boone. He's in a different. I think he's a little bit different. Well, maybe not. We're both family men. He has a big family. I think he's been real good for country and for gospel and for the image of America, because he's got a nice family. He's got a beautiful wife and children. He was down and out a few years ago, and looked like his career was over, and he turned his life over to God, and now here he is, big as ever, you know.
He was in Ozark. He had a nice show. Probably about 7 or 8 months ago.
There's a lot of people, like Elvis Presley. He was originally a gospel singer, and he's very conscious of God. And I mean, I'm not saying he's perfect. No, none of us are. But there's a lot of entertainers that are from the church and know right from wrong and try to live the right way. And then there's a lot that come from church that aren't. You know, it's just the way it is in life. You're going to have good and bad.
A carnal Christian and a non-Christian
and
a Christian.
Right.
This conversation has helped me